Hello Curlies, it's Mary. So this video is going to be showing my eyebrow routine, basically how I take my brows from just their basic shape here to the type of brows that I do for daytime looks, and also the type of brows that I do for more full face makeup looks. So if you'd like to see how I achieve all of these looks, then stay tuned. So for this tutorial I'm going to be using Brow Power by IT Cosmetics, but you can use any tools, eyebrow pencil or gel that you like. What I like about this product is that it has a spoolie or brush at one end, and then the other end just basically looks like a retractable pencil, and the colour is a dark grey / dark brown colour, which works really well for my brows. I never do black brows because it looks horrendous on me. So I have slowed this section of the video down just so that you can see my basic brow shape. I get my eyebrows threaded on a regular basis just when they begin to look untidy to me, and I just get them done in a very basic arched shape. So to start with, I just start at the very front of my brow and I use very light strokes just to add in a bit of colour slowly over time. And then I basically try to concentrate on the top of my brow on having as straight a line going across as I can, up until the point where I feel like I want my arch to begin. So you can see I'm just stopping at this point here, and then the point that I'm indicating here, I just draw a diagonal line going down, and that's going to be basically the shape of my arch. And then going back to the bottom half of my brow, I just try to curve that part so that basically it just creates a point towards the end of my arch, if that makes sense. And then from there I just fill in basically the rest of my brow. I just try to make sure that the coverage is as even as it can be from one point of my brow to the other, so I don't want any sort of light patches or any patches that are too dark. So for my everyday brows, I then use my finger, as you can see, just to kind of even out any edges that I think are a little bit too wide. So for example here, I thought that my arch was just a little bit too wide and I wanted to fix it. So I just use my fingers for that, and then I use my spoolie just to fade out the front of my brow just a little bit. I hate that look where it looks like the front of your brow is really square and really heavy. So I'm just trying to create a bit of a gradient effect, and sometimes I take quite a while to do this because I can use a spoolie and then it gets a little bit too light, and then I will fill it in just a tad more just to make it a little bit darker. But basically I just want it to look more like a bit of a gradient as opposed to a really harsh square block at the front of my brow. For me, I want my eyebrows to look filled in, but I don't want them to look just like I literally drew them on. I want them to be more natural looking if possible. So basically from this point onwards I am just being a perfectionist. So for example at the end of my brow, I feel like I want it to look a little bit more pointy, so you can see here I'm just adding a bit more at the ends for this, and I'm just showing you here the difference between the brow that I have filled in and the one that I have not filled in. So for the other brow, I am just showing you what I do, which is basically the same thing, but it has been sped up because yeah, I've kind of shown you all the detail with the first brow. So you can just see an overview of how the process goes on the other brow. The only thing that I might do differently with the other brow is that I am constantly checking and pausing to see if everything is looking as even as I can make it. There's a phrase that says that your brows are sisters and not twins, so Basically, that means that your brows are supposed to look similar to each other, but you're never going to get them looking exactly the same as each other. And to be honest, I think having brows that look slightly different actually adds just a little bit of character to your face. So yes. So since there's a little pause in the video, I just wanted to say that if you enjoy these kind of videos, then definitely give me a thumbs up. And also, if you have not subscribed already, I would really appreciate if you would hit the red subscribe button or the little icon on the screen with my face on it, and that way you will be able to be notified of future videos. Thank you. So essentially, this is the point at which I stop my basic brow routine. If I am going to work and just putting basic makeup on, then I will stop my brows here and do the rest of my makeup. So you can see basically this is what my everyday brow looks like. However, if I want to do a little bit extra, then I will go in with the LA Girl Pro Concealer. The colour I use is Fawn. And I also use this pointed foundation brush from Real Techniques, and it's just a really versatile flat brush which helps me to outline my brows. The way that I outline my brows is very basic. I just do one horizontal line across the top of my brow and then one diagonal line just to go down the line of my arch. And then I just go in a little bit more closely to neaten it up. And after I've done it as neatly as I want to and as sharply as I want to across the top of my brow, then I do the same, but emphasizing a bit more of a curve underneath my brow. And I carry on from there. So what I do with the pointed foundation brush is I just basically smooth out the outside edges of the concealer, and then after I've done that enough, I then go along the actual edges of my brows with the same brush. The main thing for me is just to make sure that the edges, the lines are as crisp as possible. But again, this is not something that I do on an everyday basis. I am more likely to do this when either my brows need threading and I really need to have a really sharp look, or if I'm going to a special occasion and I really want really super defined brows, then I'll do that. So here you can just see that I feel like I messed up the line of the top line and also the front of my brow just a little bit with the concealer. So I'm just going back in with the It Cosmetics Brow Power and just neatening that up. So I'm just showing you here the difference between the brow that I've used concealer on and the brow that I have not used concealer on. Obviously the one without concealer looks a bit more natural and the one with the concealer looks extra sharp. So it just depends on what kind of look you're going for, basically, as to which product you use and where you want to go with your brows. Now, some people prefer to use a concealer colour that is a couple of shades lighter than their skin tone. For me, even though this looks a little light, actually when I put my foundation on, literally everything blends together seamlessly. I don't really like really extra lightness around my brows. I just prefer it to basically blend in nicely with my foundation, and then if I want to add a little highlight with the rest of my makeup, then I will do that then. So curlies, this is the final eyebrow look. Of course it doesn't look right until you put the rest of your makeup on. This will actually be the next tutorial on my channel, so be sure to thumbs up this video and also to subscribe and stay tuned for the upcoming tutorial. Okay, take care guys, and I will speak to you soon.